This is Story Recapped. Today, I'm going to explain a horror film called Evil Dead. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. A young woman drenched in blood walks through deserted woods. A man follows her and eventually jumps on her, placing a bag over her head. Another man appears and hits her head with the butt of a shotgun. The young woman awakens, tied up in a cellar and surrounded by people with burnt faces. In front of her is an old woman who speaks only in Welsh. The place is filled with dead cats hanging from the ceiling as the old woman skims the pages of an evil book. The young woman's father arrives. When the young woman asks for her mother, her father reminds her that she murdered her mother. The old woman urges the father to kill his daughter, so he douses her with gas while she begs for her life. The young woman assures her father that she will rip his soul out before he can kill her. Her eyes turn yellow, and when the father drops the lighted match, she transforms into a demonic monster. The father pulls out a shotgun, tells her he loves her, and then blows her head off her shoulders. In the present day, a car arrives at a peaceful section of the woods, where an old cabin is located. As soon as David exits his car, Olivia greets him with a hug. Olivia then meets David's girlfriend, Natalie, who recognizes Olivia as David's nurse friend. Eric welcomes David and tells him that his sister Mia is waiting for him in the back. David finds Mia smoking a cigarette while sketching the cabin. Mia tells him she didn't expect him to come. He compliments her, but she doesn't buy it. David's dog, Grandpa, runs to Mia, easing the tension between the two. David hands Mia a necklace, claiming that it will protect her and make her strong. Mia asks him to promise to stick with her until the end, and David agrees, crossing his heart. A little later, Mia, a recovering drug addict, gathers David and their friends to witness her promise not to use again. She tosses her stash into the well in front of everyone, intending to quit for good and go cold turkey. Upon entering the cabin, Mia complains about the scent inside. David wonders if teenagers trespassed inside since the lock is broken. Mia heads into a room filled with their old pictures. When David enters to turn on the power switch, Mia recalls her mother lovingly, while David avoids talking about her. Still, Mia brings up their mother's last days at the hospital, where David couldn't visit her because of his work. Mia thinks he was lucky not to have seen their mother suffer. Later that day, Olivia informs David that this is not the first time Mia attempted to quit drugs. She tells him not to let her leave the place this time to prevent her from overdosing like the last time. When Mia tried to quit the first time, she lasted 8 hours before relapsing and overdosing. She was clinically dead, but was revived by the doctors. If it happens again, Olivia worries that Mia wouldn't survive this time. That night, Mia's withdrawal has her screaming and complaining about how the cabin stinks. Olivia calms her down and assures her they're all here for her. The following day, Olivia injects Mia with a sedative, but Mia continues to complain about the foul smell that no one else notices. Grandpa sniffs the floor and removes the rug, revealing a door leading to a cellar. Blood is splattered over the floor. When David and Eric enter the basement, they discover that the smell is coming from rotting animal corpses. They also find a book wrapped in barbed wires. Later that day, Mia wanders outside in the rain. At the same time, Eric opens the book's cover, which is inscribed with warnings like, "Leave this book alone," and "Do not dare to read this book." Still, Eric goes through it and comes upon a page with words blocked out and a warning not to talk, write, or hear what's in it. This only makes him more curious, so he starts reading. He covers the pages with a sheet of paper and traces the letters over it with a pencil, revealing the missing words. Outside, Mia becomes ill and hears a faint voice summoning her. Upon seeing a stranger staring at her in the woods, Mia rushes back to the cabin. She begins grabbing her belongings, claiming that she can't heal there. Mia asks David to drive her away, but he refuses. Mia throws a fit and destroys the necklace that David gave her. She storms out and steals Eric's car, but Mia sees the bloody stranger again as she drives through the woods. Mia panics and crashes the car into a marsh. When Mia wakes up, she sees the stranger emerging from the marsh. Mia flees, tumbling into a thorn bush. The spiky vines slowly wrap her arms and legs, strangling her. The stranger walks up to her, revealing herself as a bloody and creepy doppelganger of Mia. The doppelganger vomits a black, wormy creature with horns that climbs up Mia's leg and enters her. Later, David and Olivia discover her after hearing her screams. Back in the cabin, Olivia tends to Mia's wounds. She believes Mia was attempting to harm herself just to get out of the woods. Worried, David checks on Mia in her room, where she tells him that there is someone else with them in the room. David wonders if Mia was losing her mind due to the withdrawal. When he leaves, Mia sees her doppelganger in the mirror, vomiting more blood. The following day, David cleans up the basement. As he throws the garbage outside, he notices blood on the ground. David follows the trail and finds Grandpa in a hole beneath the floor of the shed. David pulls him out of the hole, but he's too late. David hugs Grandpa, thinking that Mia harmed him. David rushes back into the cabin to confront Mia, but she's in the shower. She raises the temperature of the water until it's boiling, and her skin begins to burn. David breaks the door and finds Mia sitting on the floor with burns on her body. David immediately drives her to the hospital while Mia sits on the passenger seat, with her mouth frothing. Unfortunately, the roads are flooded, forcing him to turn around. At the same time, Eric examines a page in the book and discovers a drawing of a person who burns her own body. That night, Olivia administers another sedative to Mia. While the others argue over her, Mia enters the living room, carrying a rifle. Mia holds it up and fires near David, causing the door to swing open as Mia screams in terror. She tells them in a possessed voice that they are all going to die tonight before collapsing to the ground. Olivia approaches her, but Mia knocks her to the ground. Mia's eyes turn yellow, and she vomits blood all over Olivia. Olivia kicks her into the cellar, which Eric then locks. David asks Olivia to give Mia another sedative. However, Eric tells him that it's because of her withdrawal. Her condition has something to do with the items they found in the cellar. While Olivia cleans the blood and vomit off herself, she sees a disfigured reflection of herself before the mirror shatters. Terrified, she tries to run away, but suddenly freezes. Her eyelids twitch as she pees on herself. The evil book next to her opens to a page depicting a person with a skinless face holding a knife in one hand while the other holds the peeled skin. Eric then enters the bathroom and finds Olivia cutting the flesh from her cheek, using the broken glass. Terrified, he stumbles backwards but slips on a piece of skin. Olivia stabs him in the chest using a glass shard, then stabs his face using a syringe. Eric's glasses and his hands shield his eyes from her attacks. Eric manages to get up and pushes Olivia away from him, hitting her head into the sink. As he removes the needle near his eyes, the deranged Olivia crawls towards him, prompting him to smash her head with the sink. Later that night, David tends to Eric's wounds. He requests Natalie to bring a jug of water and sugar for Eric. Eric reminds her to avoid Mia and confesses to David that it's all his fault because he read the passages from the book. Eric believes that it released an evil spirit that urges them to kill. Meanwhile, Natalie enters the living room and discovers that the cellar door is open. Mia is still down there, weeping and pleading for assistance. When Natalie climbs down, Mia's voice grows low, demonic, and menacing, stating that he won't stop until he has all of you. Realizing that it's no longer Mia, Natalie runs upstairs, but Mia grabs her feet and pulls her back into the cellar. In the cellar, Mia wakes Natalie by licking her legs, telling her that she can smell her filthy soul. When Natalie tries to escape, Mia bites her hand. Natalie tries to protect herself with a box cutter, but Mia grabs it and cuts her tongue down the center. Mia then kisses her, forcing blood into her mouth. David arrives and drags Natalie out. David locks the cellar door shut, trapping Mia inside. A little while later, David finds Eric attempting to burn the book, but it doesn't work. According to Eric, the book requires a group of souls to unleash something known as the Abomination. Eric believes that it is tied to Mia's soul and they have to kill her, to which David refuses. Meanwhile, Natalie washes the bite wound on her hand. Suddenly, an infection spreads on her hand as it bends and appears to burn inside. She spots an electric knife and attempts to cut her arm, but Mia peeks from the cellar and tells Natalie not to chop her arm off. Still, Natalie cuts her arm to stop it from invading her body. As her arm falls off, David and Eric arrive, while the possessed Mia laughs wickedly underneath as if she provoked Natalie to cut her arm. Later that night, Eric tells David that there are 3 options to end it: bury Mia alive, dismember her, or burn her alive. He taunts David for refusing to do any of these things. Suddenly, they hear a disturbing sound. Natalie enters the room with nails in her head. She pulls out a nail gun and fires at Eric. As Natalie chases Eric, David stumbles upon her, shifting Natalie's fit onto David. David goes for the rifle, but Natalie strikes him with a crowbar. Eric shoots Natalie with the nail gun, diverting her attention back to him. She then proceeds to beat Eric with the crowbar. David blasts her hand off with the gun before she deals a fatal blow. Natalie then returns to her senses and crawls to David, mourning for herself. She dies in David's arms. Finally, David decides to burn down the cabin, while Mia is still inside. He carries Eric outside and pours gasoline on the floor. Before he can drop the lighter, Mia begins singing a lullaby that their mother used to sing, convincing David not to kill her. A bolt of lightning strikes a tree outside, lighting it on fire. He devises a new plan. He takes 2 syringes and digs a hole outside. Once he's ready, he enters the cellar with a sedative in hand. However, Mia is nowhere to be found. He searches further until Mia appears and attacks him. Eric intervenes and strikes Mia with a crowbar, knocking her out. David approaches him, but Eric soon succumbs to his injuries. David drags the unconscious Mia outdoors with a sack over her head. While burying her alive, Mia wakes up in her normal voice. Mia begs for her life, but he ignores her. She then starts guilt-tripping him about their mother and tells him that he will soon see her in hell. Still, David proceeds to bury her and then prays for her. He apologizes for his shortcomings when suddenly the fire on the tree goes out. David digs and pulls Mia out from the grave. He grabs a car battery attached to syringes and inserts them into Mia's chest. He attempts to resuscitate her, but it doesn't work. He sobs as he covers her body and walks away. All of a sudden, Mia calls his name and approaches David. She's alive but traumatized by what she experienced. David comforts her and assures her that everything is all right now. A little while later, David heads back to the cabin to get the car keys. Inside, David notices a photograph of their friends, which he decides to take. Upon taking the photo, a possessed Eric appears behind him and stabs him in the neck. David runs to the door where Mia stands. As she realizes what is happening, Eric appears from the dark, terrifying her. David hands her the keys, takes her outside, and locks her out. Mia smashes the door to retrieve her brother, but David snatches the rifle and fires at the gasoline canister, igniting the cabin and killing himself and Eric for good. Mia watches the cabin burn, mourning for her brother and friends. She sees the necklace that David gave her and picks it up. Suddenly, a drop of blood falls on her hand. It starts to rain blood in the woods, and then shoots up from the ground and grabs Mia. Mia manages to escape, and Abomination rises from the earth. Mia runs into the tool shed, but the Abomination pursues her. Mia grabs a chainsaw and hides. Still, the Abomination finds her and cuts her legs and arms with a long knife. She breaks the shed's wooden wall and escapes. Outside, Mia hides beneath the Jeep and chops the Abomination's legs with a chainsaw. When Mia tries to flee, the Abomination flips the Jeep, making it land on Mia's arm. As the Abomination crawls towards her, Mia pulls herself free by cutting her arm off. With a broken arm, Mia splits the Abomination's body in half with her chainsaw. Mia stands as she watches its body sink back into the ground. The bloody rain stops, and the sun rises. Mia grabs the necklace and walks away, curse-free, but alone. Meanwhile, the book lies outside the cabin, ready for its next victims. As the book dictates, the Abomination needs to take 5 souls to be fully unleashed. David successfully cleansed Mia's soul by burying her alive, but his and Eric's deaths completed the 5 souls that the Abomination possessed, therefore unleashing it into the world. Since Mia's soul was cleansed, it needed to complete the ritual by killing her. Mia overcomes her fears and defeats the Abomination in its incomplete form. Yet, the book remains, waiting for another set of people to be sacrificed to it.
Subscribe to watch more videos like this. Turn on notifications. And leave a like, it really helps the channel out. Thank you for watching.